Hello, welcome to Tech Talk, Season 2, the penultimate episode. That's what this one is, the one before the final episode of the season, Season 2. Today, what are we talking about? We're talking about drums. Level up your drum programming. Yes, it's one of the best things to me about an instrument like this is being able to play drums. Being able to play all these instruments is so cool, but I really love doing drum programming. I love using the arps in this instrument to do cool drum programming. And so much so that, I don't know, I guess it was 3 months ago, talking to Nate, talking about what we could do on Yamaha Synth for some new article series. And one of the things that I brought up was, how about drum programming? Because when I travel and I meet people, which is going to happen very soon again, yes, I hope. I love talking to people about what they use their instrument for, and invariably I get a lot of people asking me, I always have some issues with drums. How do I do drum programming? And so we started talking that maybe a series on drum programming might be in order. So there are 2 articles right now up on YamahaSynth.com on Level Up Your Drums, that are Blake's Take, Level Up Your Drums. That's what we call them. The first one is on the basic concepts of rhythm, and that's pretty much kind of like almost a music theory article. Just talks about how rhythm is constructed, how it subdivides, the difference between duple meter and triple meter and mixed meter and that kind of stuff. So that's the first one that's up, and if you're interested in checking that out, please do. It's got some good things. If you're unfamiliar with how rhythm is constructed, if you've just always used your ear and you want to kind of know a little bit about the theory, that's what that first one's about. The second one to me is equally as important, if not more important, and that's just about active listening and about listening to drummers. If you want to become a better drum programmer, watch how drummers play. That has really instructed me. Most of my very close friends are drummers. I actually had a really great interview a while ago with the great Larry Goldings, who's a jazz organist and pianist, amazing player. But one thing that he pointed out to me was he felt that playing with drummers is what really got his time together, and he was always very fortunate to play with great drummers. I wholeheartedly recommend this for you too. Hang out with drummers, play with great drummers. That will help your drum programming, your drum feel, and everything. That's all I want to say about that for now. So let's move on and talk about what we're going to talk about today. Well, rather than get into just playing drums on the keyboard, I figured the first thing I want to do is show you all the great resources that are in Montage and MODX. There's over 10,000 arpeggios in this instrument. Now, most of the time you think of arpeggios as like chord things or melodic things and stuff, but there's at least, I think, half of those arpeggios in this instrument are drum arpeggios. And they're very easy to find, and they're very easy to use and record. And let me show you what we're going to do here. I have selected here this new Oak custom kit right here. Great drum kit. Let me move it down. Right? Probably my go-to kit is this one right here. Now, in this Oak custom drum kit, you do have some arpeggios. Now, when you first open or bring this performance up, this is just a preset performance, new Oak custom kit. You can see it right here, by the way. New Oak custom kit under drums. It's like the top row, third one over in the drum area, in the drum category. When you bring it up, you get the drum kit. If you go to the very next scene, it's going to call up the arpeggio. The arpeggio on has been saved here. So you can hear it's got a... And there's one actually in, if I just turn it on, you can hear it here. And they're actually really pretty cool drum grooves in here. Let's take a look at this. If you've never experienced this, if you've never checked out some of the arpeggios and used them to record, well, you're going to learn now. I'm going to go over here, and first of all, I'm just going to select that part and drop into edit mode. And I was already here. Look, you may go to part settings when you first get there and under general. Well, over on the left, you have the third row down is where arpeggio is. And there's a few things in the arpeggio area. There's the common things for all the arps in this performance, in this part rather. And then this is where I want to end up here, is this individual one here that shows you the ARPs that are assigned to each of the 8 slots that are addressable via these scene buttons right here. So as I hit the scenes, you can see they're changing here. And this is kind of funny. When you get to the end here, you'll notice that right now it's 5 is 5. Well, they change up here. Now they become 7 and 8, and then there's an ending figure. So let's just listen to what these are first. First one here is just the main drum groove here, right? And that's cool. Then say you go to maybe the second verse, and the conga player drops in, and he's grooving along. Then a little fill. It's a little fill. That's what that FB stands for. Fill B for the main B. And then this goes to the bridge. Drummer goes over to the ride cymbal there. There's a little fill for that one too. And then over here on scene 8, it's actually going to jump to 6 right here. So it's a little ending figure, right? There's my fill again. Okay. Ending figure. So those are all pretty well related. Now, in this particular drum groove, there are these 2 right here. This MA18Z underground. And I think that's okay. Kick, snare, you know. Then there's this one here. There's B. It adds a little. Okay, so those are okay, but I want to replace those. So I'm going to replace 6 and 7 here, and I'll say this is a user kit. So what am I going to do? I'm going to literally touch right on the name here in the screen, and you'll see the crawl that opens up, and there's a new category search here. If you've never gone through the category search on the arpeggio, this is a good time to check this out. I'm now in category search, drums and percussion for arpeggios. And you notice in the top row, you have different types of ARPs. So it's going to do it by, there's piano ARPs and keyboard ARPs. Well, we're in the drum ARP, so we're going to stay there. And then below that, you have subcategories that go through and organize all of these drum ARPs by style. So I'm going to go to funk, because this was kind of a funk drum groove collection of ARPs in this drum kit. And I'm going to move down here, and you can just check them out. Some of them are cool. And you have to realize that some of these ARPs work better with different drum kits, so they sound a little different, but that's okay. Let's just try them out. Just see what happens here. I kind of like the roll thing there. That's sort of cool. So you can literally just go through them all and check them out. Kind of cool there. And there's quite a few of them in the funk category. I'm going to actually select this one, because I like this cool funk one. 4 on the floor with a cross stick. 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. So I like that one. Once you have that, hit enter, boom. Now I have replaced that ARP with this ARP. Same thing with this one. I'm going to do a similar thing. Category search. Go to funk. Go down here to cool funk. B. This one kind of opens it up a bit more. There's a lot going on there. Notice that there's the little brush. I love that. That's cool. So now I have these 2 that I've replaced here. So there's 6 and 7. Cool. So that's the first thing that I want you to get in our little tech talk here today is check out the drum grooves in this instrument when you're looking for some inspiration. When you need a good drum groove, when you need something and you don't want to play it in, or maybe it's a little weird to play it in, or whatever. Because I'm amazed at how good these drum grooves are. It's clear that we absolutely used professional drummers to create a lot of these, put them up, with some sort of a DTX kit, record that, and make this database. Like I say, there's probably 5,000 drum grooves in here. So you have a lot of stuff to check out. So now what I want to do is take this drum groove, and let's say I'm good here. I'm going to go ahead and store this kit as a user kit because I did change it. So I'm going to store it as a user kit. I'm going to call it, I don't know, how about just X? New Custom Kit X. So that's my kit that I added and changed those drum grooves. Now what I want to do is I want to record these drum grooves into a pattern. How do I do that? Well, just hit record. That's what I like. Just hit record and you're ready to go. Now, there's a few things when you're recording arpeggios that you should know that I think that make this process really easy. And it has to do with key on start and loop. When I'm doing a drum groove recording, I definitely like to have key on start set to on. So as soon as I hit on, or as soon as I touch a note, it's going to record. But the other thing that I want to turn off the loop. And the reason why is because when you record a drum arpeggio, you don't want it to loop around and re-record and record over what you just did. It'll make it bad. It won't work very well. So just turn off the loop. You don't want to just overwrite, or actually what it does is it doubles the notes as it comes around. So that's it. Then all you have to do is just hit, and just I'm going to record it. The length is 4 measures in there, right, in the screen. And it's just going to stop as soon as 4 measures hit, just like that. Now when I hit play, I have a drum groove. Pretty cool. Easy, right? Now, some other things that you might want to do, like I'm listening to this playback, and I'm going to turn off, by the way, turn off the ARP so I can play along with it, and turn off key off start. And I'm going to go ahead and move the octave down so I have my cross stick right in the center here. So when I play this back, okay, I want more of a clave style pattern, so like something like that, maybe a little different. So I'm going to put this into overdub record and take out that cross stick. This is a cool thing I love about the sequencer in here, that it allows you to do that. So I can make it my own. I can do something kind of a little different with it. So I'm going to go into record overdub mode here. I'm going to turn my loop back on just because I do want it to loop around here. And I'm going to, so I have it, it's all ready to go. We're all good here. I have the count off here. By the way, I set my click to an 8th note. I'll show you that in a second. I just realized that. Okay, so notice that where it says hold shift plus a key to erase. So I'm going to hold shift and grab this, make this go around 4 measures, right? Make sure I got it all. Here it comes. I think we're done. I think I was in the middle of it. Okay, this will be the top is right here. Top. Okay, so now I just hit record rehearse mode by touching the record button again. That's what that blink is. So I can hit any note on here. It's not going to record. So I can try out. I don't know. Do I like that? Yeah, I do. Okay, I'm waiting until I get to the top here. 2, 4, 2, 3, 4. So now I've replaced that, right? Pretty cool. So I love that about this, the sequencer. It's really fast to do that. So I didn't also record with quantize, input quantize on. I could have, but I don't want to do that because I want to show you something else in here too. And that's done in this edit job area right here. And we go down to the play effects area. Play effects are basically non-destructive groove quantize, you know. I like the word play effects because that's what they are. They're almost like effects processors because you're routing something into them, in this case, just MIDI note data. And then you're in non-destructively affecting the time. How about I just show you rather than... So now I've made everything to the nearest 16th note right now. That's what it's... So But all I have to do is just get rid of it like this. Or if let's say I put in eighth notes and I shoved them all into eighths. Now there's no 16th note subdivision. But again, if I turn it off, non-destructive. So 16th, I want that here. Sorry, 16th, that was eighth note triplet. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the swing rate of this one right here. Give it a little bit of lilt. You can take swing velocity. If I take it all the way down to 0, it takes off any of the swung notes. So now it's just eighth notes in there, right? And I can bring these up a little bit. Oh, I'm digging that. See? That's pretty cool. Yeah, you have play effects. This first screen here, that's kind of more the feel, swing, and quantize. And then the play effects, too, give you things like note shift, which I'm not going to do because that's going to actually, well, I can do it because it's non-destructive. That's great. That's awesome. So we don't want to use note shift on the drums because it shifts everything up a half step, which could be cool. Or not. You also have clock shift. Clock shift is pretty cool. Let's say you want the drummer to sit on top of the beat or behind the beat. You can move him back and forth by going... Adding clock pulses pulls you behind the beat. Subtracting clock pulses pulls you a little bit in front. Gate time, velocity rate, and so on. Velocity offset's pretty cool because I can bring this down if I want drummer to play a little quieter. Drummer play louder. Drummer play quieter. Chill. Anyway, play effects. So that is a cool thing that I love about the pattern sequencer in this instrument. It's so great for doing drum programming. Just totally dig it. A few other things that I like in the drum programming area. There's a few cool jobs in here, and I just did that. Let me go back so you can see what I'm doing here. Edit job, right? Now I'm in these job categories where play effects is located here. User ARP. You can create your own user ARP. And by the way, if you want to know anything about ARPs, we have a bunch of Arpeggio 101, Arpeggio Making 101. Take a look at Yamaha Synth. It's up there if you want to learn how to create ARPs. That's not what this is about here today. We're talking about drums, though. So I want to show you a cool thing called Create Roll. So there's another very cool job in here that, you know, a lot of times it's hard to create a drum roll because you have to play it really fast. You can either do single stroke rolls, but stuff where you speed up like a buzz roll, admittedly, that's pretty hard to sequence into a hardware or even a software sequencer. So there is a cool job in here that's called Create Roll. Mileage varies on this one, but just experiment with it. What you can do is, let's say I want to do a roll on beat 4, on the and of beat 4 into the downbeat. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to start, and that measure, I want it to start on measure 4, and I want it to start on beat 4, and let's do clock. So clock 480 pulses per quarter note, right? 240 would be an eighth note. 120 would be a 16th note. So if I wanted to start on the and of 4, it would be beat 4, 240, right? That's right. So I'm going to start at 240 right here. And by the way, if I want to, I can just go 240, make it easy, fast. And then it will end, I'm going to have it end on measure 5-1, even though this is a 4-measure thing. I want it to go all the way to the downbeat. And then you have your start step, which would be, again, small, right? So I'm going to make this, I'll make the start step maybe 40. No. I'll do it the other way. I'll make them smaller. So we'll start with 60, and we'll make the end step small. So it'll speed up the roll as I get to the end here. And I want it to be that drum right here. So keyboard, right? So we'll put a little snare drum roll right here. And the start velocity, I want that to be, let's make it 20. And let's make the end velocity, again, you can just hit it twice, do the full on. Let's find out what that does. Execute. All right, let's go back to my screen here, and you'll hear, as I get to the 4, you'll hear a drum roll. Now, it may not be exactly what I want. I can always undo this. Here it comes. 2, 2. I didn't hear it. Did I not set it? Let's do it. I think I made a mistake. So I'm going to undo create roll. Try this one more time. What did I do wrong? Oops. I'm sorry. 4 beat 40, 5. Step, in step. Let's, you know what I'm going to do? Just to make it very clear, let's put it on beat 3. Hear what that one sounds like. Coming around here. Should be right here. There it is. It's a little. I think I know what I did wrong. I didn't make it small enough, but you hear it there. That's actually kind of cool. It's a triplet thing. Create roll just creates a roll. Experiment with it. You'll find a lot of cool things to do with it that are probably cooler than what I just did. But I thought it was cool. All right. Other things I want to show here. So I have this drum groove here. There is another great job in here that's called divide drum track. And what divide drum track does is it takes a single track, in this case, the track 1, right? And it will divide the drums out onto individual parts on parts 9 through 16. So it doesn't get rid of my original drum groove, which is good. But what it will do is it will take that single track and put it out on multiple tracks. So you'll have kick drum on maybe track 9, snare drum on maybe track 12, hi-hats on track 14 or whatever. You'll see. I'm just going to do it right now. I'm going to say right here, new pattern 3, track 1, divide drum track, and it's going to tell you that when you do this, it's going to create a new performance, because it has to, because it's creating new parts. So it's going to create a new performance, and it's going to ask me to save a new performance. So I'm going to call this new custom kit Y. And does its job. Go down here. So I still have my main groove right here, and I can solo this, right? But I'm going to mute this one, and there's a reason why, because when you see this, we go down here, there's tracks or parts 9 through 16 on the tracks here, and I'm going to play this now, and you'll see that what it did was it just copied the same drum kit. There was that. You know what? I just had a realization. The reason why you couldn't hear the roll, this is live. The reason why you couldn't hear the roll is because I had play effects on, remember? And it's forcing it through the play effect, derp. So we discovered something today during this tech talk. You can definitely hear the roll there. Didn't really think through. Okay. So what's cool about this is now that I have it on these different parts, right? I can now switch the drum sound for any of these parts. So let's say we're in here, and I'm going to go ahead and hit the solo button. Well, that's an oak custom kit. What about a, hold on, let me go to attribute, single. I'm in category search now, right? I'm going to go to my drums percussion. I'm going to move it up here to the very top of the form. How about a giant maple kick, like a huge one, a big floppy one? Not as tight as before. Or how about more like a processed kick? Hear what it sounds like in context here. That's quite a large, I'm going to bring it down a bit here. Okay, now let's take a look. So you can go through here and now do some production, change the kits up. Maybe whatever. Okay, that's the snare drum roll. How about we do something like category search, and I'll put, let me find a different kit for that one. I'll do the real drums kit for that one. More of a processed one, I'll bet. Here it comes. Woo! And I'm definitely going to bring that down a hair. And so on. Grab different. Grab Beechwood snare kit. That's just a cross stick, so maybe an electronic kit. That's kind of cool. That's cymbals. So let's grab something else for that one. How about trap kit? And this one is just the percussion, tambourine, right? Same thing with this one. Category search. Let's just grab something. How about we do it from the percussion area, a Brazilian kit? Maybe not a Brazilian kit. Arabic kit. That's kind of cool. So that's you get the idea. You can do some really cool things with this divide drum track, separate them out and change up kits and have just experiment. It's really, really cool. I love that about this instrument. Last thing I want to show you is when it's time for me to go and track this, right? Take it to a DAW. This is where I'm going to probably drop into edit mode here, and we're going to select a part. Let's do parts 9 through 16, right? So now I am on part 9. I'm going to go to the part settings here, right? And let's just here, I just want to make sure I know what that's the kick drum, right? Yes, it is. Yes. Okay, so going back one more time to my main performance here. I'm on part 9, right? Part 9 common. Now, what I would do if I want to track this to a DAW and put these out on separate channels is I'm going to take some of those individual outputs here. And it's cool how Montage is set up. I can either do it using stereo, which is fine if you need a stereo kick drum. But I really like, using these as mono things so I can pan them inside the DAW as needed. So I'll usually select one of these, the mono channel, like 1 or 2 or whatever, and send the kick drum out just one of those mono channels there. Same thing with it would be on this part here, part 11. That's where the snare drum is. I might put that on another USB output here, whatever I put here. I can't remember what I put on the first one. I'll go back to the kick drum real quick. USB 1, USB 2, right? I think this was on 13, so I would probably put this one maybe on USB 3, and so on. So now I have 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to set those up in the DAW, obviously, so that they correlate, right? So I know what's coming in there. But the point is that I can then record each of the drum parts of that divided drum track into the DAW, and it's gonna bring in the insertion effects, but it's not going to bring in any of the reverb around it. So it makes it really perfect and ready for production. Just a few things that are really slick about drum programming on a Montage and MODX. Again, this is a Montage, but if you have a MODX, this is the same. This is the same thing that I'm showing you here. Works on your MODX as well. So, what have we learned? Cool drum arpeggios, ability to record cool drum arpeggios easily, ability to groove drum arpeggios, change them up, take things out, replace them with what you want. You saw what I did there. I haven't played anything today. Pretty much everything I did, with the exception of a couple of drum things, was really using the tools that you have in here to assist you in creative drum programming. That's just a little bit too. So once again, I'm going to write, I'm on Article 3 right now. Article 3 is basically about this right here. I have a little bit more detail in the article that's coming into this week. I think I'll have it done. And then I'll have Article 4. I'll talk about the production thing that I just told you about on the Level Up Your Drum series on Yamaha Synth, the article series, not just this live stream we have here today. So thank you. I'm moving on. I'm going to my closing background. Big thing, wearing the red hat today. Kind of thought it was sort of a nice, kind of goes with the background. Speaking of web resources, hey, Yamaha Synth. That's where that Level Up Your Drum article series exists, along with a forum where you can ask questions about drum programming if you wish. Drum programming if you wish. There's also lots of other cool articles up there. We rebroadcast these tech talks up there. Once again, the link is in the description below me here on this video. Yamaha Synth, all things Yamaha Synth, go to Yamaha Synth. Idea Scale. Idea Scale is a crowdsourcing style place where you can write down what you'd like to see in a Yamaha product. So if you have any ideas, cool ideas for Yamaha product, go up to Idea Scale, post it up there, or if you find your idea up there, vote it up. That's kind of how it works. It's crowdsourcing, so you kind of vote it up if you see something that you like there. Hey, I want that. But yeah, check out Idea Scale. Again, links in the description. Idea Scale, Yamaha Synth. I think it's yamahasynth.ideascale.com, but it's in this description below me. Soundmondo. Soundmondo is our social sound sharing site. You can upload sounds, Montage, MODX, YC, CP, Reface, all supported on Soundmondo. You can also go up there and access somewhere in the neighborhood of 80,000 sounds are up there right now. Lots of sounds for Montage, lots of sounds for MODX, lots of sounds for the other ones that I mentioned. That's Soundmondo, links in the description. SoundCloud is where we have our Behind the Synth podcast. I think we're on 54. I think we're probably we got to do another one, I think, pretty soon. But we have lots and lots of great Behind the Synths up there where we talk to artists, where Nate and I geek out on cool vintage Yamaha synthesizers like the CS80. We did that one last season on the Behind the Synth podcast. There's also cool audio demos of our stuff, more things coming. That's our SoundCloud, links in the description. Finally, the music production guide is this amazing guide done by my counterpart in Germany, Hans-Peter Hinkel. Man, this is such a great guide. It's his team of people that he works with to do this. It goes back 10 years, I think. So if you're a motif owner, for example, go and check out the free guide up there to check out stuff from the past. But there's also obviously an ongoing issues with current product. That's the music production guide. Again, links in the description down there. Questions? If you have any questions, next week is the last week that we're going to be doing it for this season. We're going to come back. But please, if you have any questions, go ask us a question. We'll try and answer it on the next, hopefully, episode of Tech Talk, which is the last one of the season. But if you have any questions that you'd like to ask us specifically, please go to that link right there. I think it's in the description below, and ask a question of us here, our worldwide product demonstration team. Thank you so much for watching today here on Tech Talk on Level Up Your Drums. By the way, I wholeheartedly, that second article, it just occurs to me, it's really cool watching drummers play, I have to say. I've been watching some old, from 1964, the Miles Davis Quintet. Somebody colorized black and white video of this amazing quintet with, Miles Davis, Wayne Shorter, Ron Carter, Herbie Hancock, and the great Tony Williams. Tony Williams was 19 years old, and watching him play on that is so amazing. Watching just his technique, his confidence, his time feel. Watching drummers is so instrumental to everything that I do as a keyboardist, because you realize the piano is a percussion instrument. So the more you watch drummers, the better you're going to get. I guarantee you. So I really wholeheartedly check out that second article as well, just on listening, because I have some really cool drummers that I put for you to check out. Steve Gadd, Antonio Sanchez, some other ones I can't remember who else. Dave Weckl, I think Tommy Aldridge, and the guy Mike Borden, guy from Faith No More, another great drummer. Check those videos out. You can slow them down. You can check things out. One thing that's cool about YouTube is that you can do that. So just want to point that out. If you want to level up your drums, check out that article. Anyway, thank you so much. Next week, final season. It's gonna be a fun one. So take care, and I'll see you next week on Tech Talk.